All right, so let's do this. Let's do this again. So today I will be going over my own personal computer system. So, as some of you might know, in 2016, April, I decided to say farewell from producing content and video reviews, which was the big thing for me that kind of, was too stressful. So I decided to, after 16 years of doing it, so I decided to stop. And in 2016, from 2016 to, I guess, probably the middle of 2020, I did nothing tech related. I didn't game. I mean, I was still kind of keeping up with, for the most part, some trends, but when I got out of it, I really lost interest in it, to be honest. Along with, the stress side of it, I just lost interest. So it was a few reasons why I just kind of gave it up, and it was a great break. I mean, if you've watched my video of the last 6 years, it was great. I had a great time getting out there and doing the things that I've always done. Hiking and biking and kayaking and all that wonderful stuff. One thing my father always said to me, he said, make sure you have lots and lots of hobbies. And maybe he doesn't even remember telling me that, but and I saw it from him as well. And that's my advice to you. If you have lots of hobbies and lots of interests, spread out from, not just a bunch of hobbies in tech or a bunch of hobbies, in maybe cars or whatever. But if you have a diverse hobby bucket, a bucket full of hobbies that you can pull on, then man, I can tell you right now, that is going to get you through life like nobody's business. It's its own therapist, in my opinion. And something that I did, at least I followed him on that advice. Kids don't always, seldomly follow their parents' advice, but that was something that, and it's something that I was always interested in having. Lots of things that I've always been interested in tons of topics. I mean, I'm nothing out of the ordinary per se, but even within these few years, one of the strangest things I probably did was read poetry in front of a group. That was weird. Can't really say that I enjoyed that, but I was doing some things that were outside of my comfort zone, really. And it got me out of my rut. It pushed my limits, and that's good. That's what you need to do, I think, to keep your body and mind active and healthy. You should always be trying to not stay stagnant. You need to get out there and keep reinventing things, kind of. That's what I've been trying to do anyway. I listen to a lot of informative programming, whether it be, on YouTube or on Netflix, which I still have. Although with all the price increases on Netflix, I decided to downgrade to the lowest one that they have, because honest to God, I'm not paying for 20, 30, 40 bucks a month for what I watch on Netflix. I'm not bashing them, but and I have to say, in the last little while, I find that their content has been really good. I find a lot of their documentaries to be very captivating and good. Some of the movies and stuff, not so much, and a lot of the old ones I've already seen anyway. But yeah, it's so worth it. And now you can't share anymore, really. I think you maybe still can here in Canada, but that's a downside for sure. I'd be interested to actually get the stats on how many accounts are shared. Probably a hell of a lot. Probably, 20 to 40% are probably shared. I was sharing mine. My parents actually share it. They never use it much, but actually I don't know if they use it at all, to be honest. But they're like old school. Well, I mean, they're older, so they grew up, watching regular TV, and that's what they have now. They just sit back and watch all the commercials, and that's what they're used to. So that's fine. It's whatever floats your boat. That's good. But for me, no. I think I actually gave up on TV and even landlines. I think I gave up on that stuff. It was probably in like 2003, 4, 5, somewhere like that. I went to VoIP, voice over IP, and anyway, I digress. So where was I? Oh yeah, see, I can talk about stuff forever. My personal computer. If you're still here, that's wonderful. Thank you. So yeah, back in I've lost track now. 2019, 2020. I think it was 2020, actually. I started to get back into it early 2020. In 2019, late 2019, of course, we all heard about the virus originated in China, and trusting like a fool our government. I figured, oh yeah, well, never reach here. They, shut down the airlines, and they would have protocol for this, and they would never spread because, they're responsible. And, if something like this hits our shores, then it's going to devastate our country. And lo and behold, of course, it did, and it's been devastating. I mean, still, cases here in Canada are quite high, in the thousands, and there's hundreds of people dying. I mean, it's I think it's, I don't know, in Ontario, I think it's around maybe 10 to 30 per day. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but it's somewhere close to that. So back then, I mean, when that hit, it kind of changed things, I think, for a lot of people, actually. Lockdowns came into effect. I don't know when that was exactly. I lost track. March, April, May. Lockdowns came in effect, and everyone was wearing masks, and then vaccinations came, and then there's protests because people didn't want to get vaccinated, and there's people, I was one of those people at the beginning. I was just, I really don't know what's in this stuff, and I have listened to podcasts, watched some stuff, and read some interesting facts about rDNA, and it's basically mRNA, which is messenger RNA, and it's kind of like a delivery system, right? That's all it is. It's a delivery system to your immune system that says, here, boost yourself up and fight it. In all honesty, our governments can track us in other ways, and our companies can track us in other ways. We have smartphones. They don't need this. I have a buddy who said, actually lost his job. He gave up a fantastic job that he worked so hard for, and he gave that up because he thought that the government somehow was tracking him and tracking others, and he refused. Now, he told me that his either his both parents or one of his parents, I believe, got sick from this, and I believe passed away. So maybe he's a different perspective than I. And I mean, he's a bit of a techie guy as well. So, but very smart, very sharp, very diligent. He's really top shelf kind of guy. But this is an example of someone even on that level believing something and questioning whether what are the intentions. Because I mean, let's face it, these companies that are producing vaccines and stuff are going to make trillions of dollars from this. But just do me a favor, just go out there and into the wild west of Google, and just for yourself, for your own knowledge, just search for messenger RNA, mRNA, and it will be very eye-opening, I believe, and you'd be amazed at what it is, what it does, and how beneficial it can be. I mean, I was listening to another podcast about it and how it's going to possibly be able to cure cancer within 2 to 5 years. So what doctors would do is take a sample from you, DNA, and they would be able to engineer and print kind of like an anti-cancer drug for you. So how cool would that be? I mean, that would be pretty awesome. My computer system. 2020, I decided to look for. I was looking to build a computer system, but then I found out computers are insanely priced. Okay, so I'll have to stop you there because there's actually someone in front just really pissed off. I think he's on a bike. Maybe someone just almost ran him over. I have no idea, but he is pissed. Anyway, so he's okay anyway. Actually, before that, I was gaming a little bit. I remember, I think I got back into Tomb Raider again, but it just wasn't, it wasn't playing on the system that I had, which was actually a HP Omen laptop. I had a 1070 in it, and it just wasn't really keeping up, so anyway, so I then decided to look into building a computer system. And I was looking at the 3080s, doing some research into, other video cards and stuff, but and oh my God, we're talking $1,500. Actually, at the time, it was probably more expensive than that. It was probably closer on $2,000 at the time. And I was like, what the hell? That's just for the card? Then I have to buy the board, and then I have to buy, and of course there were shortages in everything, right? So it wasn't easy to actually build. So I went ahead and did something that I would never do before and bought a pre-built. Yep. Yeah, I know. But what choice did I have? I either could get a computer or not get a computer, because I'm not really going to buy the same hardware and it's going to cost me $6,000. I'm exaggerating, of course, but it will be at least double that. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger on an Alienware. It was an R10. I think the R13s and R14s are out now, but it was an R10. It has a AMD 3700X in it, and CPU, and a 3080, plain Jane 3080, 10 gigabytes video card. And I wasn't actually expecting much from it. And I got a great deal on it. I think I picked it all up for $2,000, I believe, because there was a whole bunch of rebates at the time, and there was Racketooin. Actually, if you don't use Racketooin, like, use it. It's amazing. I think I got $300 back from Racketooin at the time, and it was a crazy deal. It was, I think, it was 27, almost 3,000. It ended up being around 2,000, which was just, I thought it was good. You know, I'm getting a whole system, and I did get rid of some of the memory that's there. I got some more memory. I think I have 32 gigs of memory right now, which is good for video editing and stuff. But yeah, so. You know, and I got a black Western Digital 1 terabyte M2 drive, but cross my fingers and knock on wood that you know, it's going to hold up, and it's held up. It's done very well. Now, I'm sure the next question for you guys would be, well, what games have you played? Well, that's probably for another video, because I've played a lot of them, man. I've spent thousands of hours actually in the last year and a half, I guess. That's all it's been, because I think I only got the system in like January 2021. So I have literally been living to game over the last year and a half. And you know, that's kind of what I've done. That's kind of how I've been with gaming. I will just literally jump into this, you know, and just completely drown myself in it and oversaturate myself in it to the point where I kind of get sick of it. So right now, actually, I'm kind of a little bit oversaturated with it. But I will say this, though. If you're looking for an open world game that is a gem, that is not on all the charts, then this is one. This is one that I would recommend. And actually, it's been one of the favorites of all the games that I've played. It's been one of my favorites, and it's Mad Max, the latest Mad Max. I thought the visuals, the story, the whole thing, everything with it was just astounding. And I believe I put in probably 80 to 100 hours in that game. But yeah, it's been a great system overall. So if you're hesitant about maybe getting a pre-built system, and you know, you are thinking about, but then again, I looked yesterday. I looked at the prices of the Alienware systems, and yeah, they're gone through the roof. So, you know, everyone's just gouging, you know, greedy. And I saw a comment that was posted in I think a short that I did about the 4090 video cards, and you know, $1,800 for US for a video card, you know, and this person kind of said, like, it's ridiculous, and I 100% agree. I think it's insane, and it shouldn't be allowed. Like, it should not be allowed. And what will happen is, you know, scalpers will get this stuff, and retailers will get this stuff first, and probably, like anyone doing, you know, mining will get this, and they will sell them. They'll you know, get them and resell them for like, you know, who knows, $3,000-$4,000, which is crazy. Nvidia and even AMD too. Some of the AMD video cards, they're just as expensive. You don't get any deals there. I don't know. It's no one seems to protest or whatever anymore. Just people just buy. Look at housing prices too. Same thing. Buy. Keep going. I mean, people just somehow, some way, maybe, you know. Well, what will happen is debt. If you're here still, thank you for tuning in and listening to me ramble on and on and on. One thing that I do have to do, though, is probably get a different mounting position, so maybe a different location, because I'm not sure if you want to look at me from this vantage point. I'm not 20 anymore, so I'm actually in my 50s. So yeah, time flies by, and that's something that all of us, you know, that's something that all of us cannot stop, is time. Even if you're your 20s or your teens or whatever, you know, back then you think you have 10 lifetimes ahead. Well, I'm going to say adios, and I'll keep spitting these things out. Stay safe out there.